Almost 4 years ago, Polly Letofsky sold everything she owned, put on a pair of sneakers, and started walking around the world. So far, she's walked across 20 countries, and this morning she's beginning the last leg of her journey right here from our early show studio. Ms. Letofsky, good morning, and thanks for being here with us.
Well, thanks for having me. You could have ordered some sunshine.
Yeah,
for me.
if you're going to be walking,
that.
this is not exactly walking weather, is it? Yeah. Tell me, why did you undertake this huge task?
You know, it's something I've wanted to do since I was a kid, and I saw a story of a man walking around the world, and I was so intrigued by the fact that a simple movement, like putting one step in front of the other, can carry you virtually around the world through different cultures and climates and traditions and people and ideas, etc. I won't say obsessive about it, but it stayed with me throughout my life. And then it was a number of years later, like 25 odd years later, there were a lot of women in my life with breast cancer. So I thought, in a nutshell, of course, it was much more than that, but I thought, that's what I'll do that walk for, that I've always wanted to do.
Because you said you had, while you don't have a family history or a risk, you had a number of people in your life who did come into contact with or had people who had breast cancer, and you thought this will be a way to get attention to it.
Yeah, well, actually, I won't say it runs in my family, but someone in my father's side of the family had it. And anyway, I went to the doctor and I asked for a mammogram, and he said, you're too young. It doesn't run on your mother's side of the family. Don't worry about it. So what do I know? I said, oh, okay, wonderful. Good for me. I can't get breast cancer.
Yeah.
And someone set me straight and said, well, that's a little ridiculous, and how dare a doctor tell you this? And it sort of reamed it into me that, in fact, if you're a woman, you're at risk for getting breast cancer. End of story. Doesn't matter if it runs in your family, etc. So that's when I got the idea that breast cancer is all over the world, in every neighborhood all over the world.
Yeah,
so.
well, let's talk about the walk, because I'm curious about things like how long do you walk a day? How many countries have you gone through? 20 countries.
21, but who's counting?
How many pairs of shoes have you gone through?
23.
You're on your 23rd pair now?
Yeah.
How many miles a day do you think you average?
I think I average about 16, but say India, I wanted to get through a little faster, so I upped that up to about 24, 25 miles a day, which I had no idea that I could do that kind of mileage. And then again, in the winter, I just came through England and Scotland, where you have daylight from 9 to about 3:30, so I had to shorten the mileage a bit down to about 10, 12.
And we're showing right now a picture of your companion.
This is Bob. Yes.
Yeah,
Bob
tell me about Bob.
Bob carries all my gear, and it's been custom made for me by the company Bob and North Face. And it's really just one of those yuppie baby jogger strollers, and they sort of made it a backpack on wheels. And I have signatures of women around the world that have had breast cancer, and they come out and walk with me. And I understand that your mother's had
my
breast
mother is
cancer.
a survivor. Yeah. So can I sign it? I'll sign it at the end of the segment for her.
Okay, so she can walk with me.
But in terms of your possessions, is this everything you own?
Yeah,
in Bob?
Well, no, we won't get carried away with that, but yeah, my dad's been great, and he sends things back and forth, and people give me gifts all along the way. It's something I didn't expect. I mean, things like coconuts, of course, I'm not going to mail home, but walking through Thailand and Malaysia, people wanted to give me something, so they would run after me, madam, here's a coconut. It was, oh, great.
You also keep a diary, though, and you said you wanted to love India.
I did. I really was desperate to love India. I tried. I promise you I tried desperately.
But didn't happen, huh?
It kept not happening. Repeatedly kept not happening. But I still have this fantasy of now going back, more in the mode of a tourist, going to the sites that have an infrastructure for tourists. Because I was walking as a white woman in a tribal region in central India. They've never seen a white person before. Obviously, the curiosity is such that the entire village would surround me and walk with me, sometimes chase me through the village, etc. So,
have you ever been afraid? By yourself?
I don't know if I've been afraid. I think I was getting so aggravated, particularly coming through that region of the world where, you know, you got the horny men syndrome thing going, and through the Mediterranean. And for example, one man went out to shake my hand. He had heard what I was doing, and I said, oh, how nice. And I shook his hand, and he tried to pull me behind a tree.
Right.
And I just went wild on the guy and pulled out my pepper spray. Well, he doesn't know what that is. It could have been lipstick for all he knew.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he went running, and I was so wound up from months of this that I actually went running after him.
Oh,
so,
wow. Well, Polly, thanks so much. Good luck on the walk. And listen, you can follow Polly's progress on the Early Show website, cbsnews.com. And I'm going to throw it to Harry, and I'm going to sign my mom's name on this.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, thanks, Polly. Harry, over to you.
Before we say goodbye, we want to help Polly Letofsky kick off the next leg of her around-the-world walk.
There she goes.
All right, adios.
Look,
Get moving.
She has her rain gear on, all
Yeah,
bundled
she better.
up.
Look at this.
Yeah, you know what? Did you hear her say she'd gone through 23 pairs of shoes?
Oh, my gosh.
Up until this point, she's been walking for 4 years. This will be the 5th year.
Yeah, take care there, Polly.
Bye, Polly. Have a great weekend, everyone.
We'll see you Monday.